You know, it's funny. The first thing I did when I started talking to Wendy this morning was she and I had a brief chat, and I told her, I said, I'm going to be running through this content. And basically, it's 3 minutes a topic in order to get through all 10 topics. So it's going to seem like shorthand, but these are 10 things that I consider to be kind of the biggies. The things that if you actually do them consistently and effectively, you will ultimately have true project success. We'll start with Peter Drucker, Management by Objectives. Peter Drucker wrote that book in the 50s, and it still has merit. That's the thing that's crazy. Coming up with clear, discrete objectives. The beauty of it is Drucker wasn't the first person to figure this out, or wasn't the only person to figure this out. Somebody else, I had the honor of meeting him back when I had a completely different career. Mr. Rogers. Yeah, Mr. Rogers actually asked me the question. When we sat down to chat, he asked me the question that's before you right now. When we're done here, how do you want the world to look different? If you're looking for a specific way to ensure that you're actually going to have a positive outcome, get an answer to that question. Getting some idea as to where people want to wind up takes them out of all the current angst and frustration and everything else and puts them in a better place, puts them in a future state. So, first trick, get the objective, make it clear, and do so in a non-threatening, Mr. Rogers kind of way. So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do. Ask the 3 Agile questions. Now, some of you are Agilists, which means you already know these questions. Those of you who are not into the Agile community, though, you should be stealing liberally from the Agile community. You should. And asking the 3 Agile questions. What'd you do yesterday? What are you doing today? And what's standing in your way? When you're talking to your team members, when you're talking to those around you, these 3 questions asked consistently, daily, and again in a non-threatening fashion go a long way toward ensuring that you have a current understanding, and notice the operative word there, a current understanding of just where we are on the project. If we ask these questions on a daily basis, frankly, those of you who have been in the daily scrum, you know, they get boring after a while. Boring is good. It is. It really genuinely is, because it opens doors for us to have a conversation that's kind of low-key about where we are and where we're going to be going forward. The 3 Agile questions go a long way towards helping us resolve some of our basic conflicts. Oh, we've got some contract rules in here that are the 10 top tips when it comes to the project management success checklist. Oh, yes, we do. And rule number 1, have a contract. Oh, and read it. Read it. I was amazed. One company I was consulting for, I said, can I get a look at the contracts we're going to be dealing with? And they said, why? And I said, well, we're consulting to support you in this contract, so wanted to make sure I knew what we had agreed to with the client. Oh, wow, we don't normally do that. We don't normally let even our project managers look at the contract. Terrifying. If you work in one of those organizations, it needs fixed. It does. It's a basic practice. You need to. And my old boss, Ed Phelps, God bless him, when we were working on the Bell Atlantic contract, that kind of dates it, but when we were working on the Bell Atlantic contract, Ed came down to my office one day and he said, Carl, you're on Bell Atlantic, right? And I said, yeah. And he goes, where's the contract? And I said, I'm sorry, what? And he said, the contract. I want to see a copy. You got 20 seconds. And he pulled out his watch and he started, I could tell he was timing me down. And I reached in my file drawer, and yes, I know that dates it a bit, but I reached in my file drawer and I handed him the contract. And he goes, okay, you made it in less than 20 seconds. That's good. And he dropped the contract back on my desk and started walking out. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? And he said, if you can't put your hands on the contract in 20 seconds, you can't have an intelligent conversation on the phone or on a conference call with the client about what's in it. Said you need to have it at your fingertips at all times. That was a really stellar piece of advice. Sadly, most project managers don't have the contract at their fingertips. They don't have the project charter at their fingertips. They don't have a memorandum of understanding at their fingertips. And we should. It's professional. And in the contract, if you actually read through it, start looking for adjectives. Adjectives are dangerous. The vendor shall support documentation for all deliverables. Well, that doesn't seem to have many adjectives. And all's a deliverable. All's an adjective, gang. It is. And it's a scary adjective. It really is. And start asking all the questions. What age level of documentation? How much documentation? Are we talking about just having it available or having it actually on paper somewhere? Asking ourselves these questions before we ever get into the client site is really a very healthy place to be. Oh, there you go. The WBS. Oh, now I'm going to say something that to my Agile people will seem heretical. Work packages. Work packages need rules. So do, in the Agile land, their analogy, which is user stories. User stories need rules. We need to have concrete, clear, well-defined, well-described rules for these things. How big, how much, how many hours are going to be invested. And whether it goes to user stories or work packages, if you've got one or two that are fat, and I mean fat, if you've got them that are just plain outsized, you've got a problem. And you can solve it just by breaking them down into more manageable chunks. I used to love, I worked with one developer who would say, I'd say, I need a smaller work package. Carl, you can't manage this kind of science. It's like, okay, fine, but I need something smaller. And I kept pushing back, and he said, well, what do you want? And I said, I just want to know when you're halfway done. Well, I never know when I'm halfway done. I said, and there's a problem, because a lot of times they honestly don't. But you at least need to have some landmarks along the way so you know you've gotten nowhere, but at least you've gotten something accomplished. And this is the hard wrestling match that goes on in the IT community, is trying to determine degrees of doneness. That's the whole point of a work package. It's being able to say you got something done. I love getting stuff done. And you can believe you me, this little 30-minute presentation for ITMPI, you can bet it's on my daily checklist. It's on my list. And after we sign off, I want you to envision me here in my office. I'm going to be sitting.
Hi there. I hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.